Welcome to the Ad Expert Podcast.
It's great to be here.
I was thinking about how we usually start these deep dives, often looking at a broad industry trend or, some abstract concept. But today, we're doing something a little different.
Oh, yeah.
We are getting into the weeds, but the good kind of weeds, the profitable kind.
Ah, that is the best kind.
We're talking about something that I think keeps business owners awake at night. It's that feeling of standing in a crowded stadium, let's say the Rose Bowl, since we're talking about a Los Angeles vibe today.
Okay, I'm with you.
And just screaming your sales pitch at the top of your lungs, you're shouting, "Buy my product," and hoping that out of those 90,000 people, anyone actually hears you.
And more importantly, that the person who hears you actually cares.
Exactly. Versus the alternative, which is having a quiet, targeted conversation with the exact person who is already pulling their wallet out because they've been looking for you all week.
That is a vivid image, but it really captures the state of digital advertising right now. It's the difference between noise and signal.
It really is.
And to guide us through this, we're looking at a brand new article, hot off the press, dated today, February 5, 2026.
Oh, brand new.
It's titled Precision Targeting, Advanced Audience Segmentation for Google Ads, and it's by Sam Ashrafi.
And before we get into the nitty-gritty of the how, and trust me, we are going to get technical today, we have to talk about the who behind the strategy.
Right.
Because the source here isn't just a textbook, it's coming from the trenches. We're drawing this insight from Ad Expert.
Right. They're a Los Angeles-based online marketing and web development agency. And the location actually, it matters here.
Why is that? I mean, the internet is global, right? Why does it matter that they're in LA?
Well, think about the LA market. It is hyper-competitive. It's dense.
Sure.
You have businesses fighting for attention on every digital corner. If you can make local marketing work in Los Angeles, if you can cut through that noise, you can make it work pretty much anywhere.
That's a great point.
And they've been in those trenches for over a decade.
So it's like the crucible of marketing. If you survive there, you're battle-tested. And looking at their background, they aren't just ad guys.
No, and that is a key distinction. When you look at the landscape of digital marketing, 10 years is practically a century.
Right.
But Ad Expert isn't just running ads. They're dealing with the whole ecosystem.
Yeah.
We're talking web development, WordPress, Shopify Plus, SEO, social media, the works.
A holistic view. And the key players here are Sam Ashrafi, who's the founder with that 10-plus years of experience, and Ehsan Nabalvadi.
Right. Ehsan is the wizard behind the curtain. He's the expert in SEO and professional analytics.
Okay.
So you have this combination of high-level marketing strategy from Sam and deep, granular data analysis from Ehsan. It's the art and the science working together.
So the mission for this deep dive is pretty clear. We want to uncover how businesses can stop setting money on fire.
Yes.
We want to move away from the old school basic keyword targeting and understand how to use data, AI, and this concept of segmentation to actually increase ROAS return on ad spend.
Stop setting money on fire. I think that's a mission statement everyone can get behind.
Absolutely. But before we get into the mechanics of segmentation, let's unpack the vibe of Ad Expert a little bit more, because reading through their materials, they seem to have a very specific philosophy.
They do. And what stands out to me is that they don't view these services in a vacuum. You often see agencies that just do ads or just build websites.
Right, they're siloed.
Ad Expert seems to understand that your WordPress or Shopify site has to talk to your ad strategy. If the site is slow or the landing page is confusing, the best ad in the world won't convert. It's all one machine.
That's a good point. It's like buying a Ferrari engine and putting it in a go-kart.
Exactly.
But the real differentiator, and I circled this in my notes because I think it's where, is their focus on live tracking.
Yes, this is huge.
They call it real-time marketing insights because usually you get a report at the end of the month that says, hey, sorry you lost money 3 weeks ago.
Precisely. That is what I call the autopsy approach. You're just finding out why the campaign died. Ad Expert is pushing for a bird's eye view. They want clients to see the marketing landscape as it's happening.
So checking the vitals while the patient is still alive.
Exactly. This allows for optimization on the fly. If something isn't working on a Tuesday morning, maybe a competitor launched a flash sale, you don't wait until the end of the quarter to fix it. You pivot immediately.
And they are leaning heavy into the future, too. They talk about unleashing the power of AI. Now, everyone talks about AI these days. Is this just buzzword bingo?
It doesn't seem like it. In this industry, AI is inevitable. But they aren't just using it to write generic blog posts. They're using AI for customer targeting, personalized campaigns, and analytics. It's about efficiency.
Finding those hidden pockets of profit.
Exactly. processing data faster than a human ever could.
Okay, so we have a team that knows the tech, knows the LA market, and uses live data. Now let's get into the problem they are solving. Sam Ashrafi makes a pretty bold claim in the article. He says running successful Google ads is no longer just about keywords and bids.
It's a shift that has been happening for a while, but it's critical now.
Mm.
The old way was simple. Someone types in running shoes.
Right.
You bid on that keyword, your ad shows up.
Sounds logical. I sell running shoes. I want to show up for running shoes. Why is that a problem?
It is logical, but it's also incredibly wasteful. The waste argument here is that basic targeting shows your ad to everyone who types that word.
Right.
But think about who searches for running shoes.
Runners, I assume.
Sometimes. But think broader. What about the high school student looking for photos for a design project?
Oh.
What about someone looking for cheap knockoffs on a sketchy site? Or maybe someone who just bought a pair yesterday and is checking the tracking number.
Ah, I see. And as the advertiser, I'm paying for all those clicks.
Exactly. If you pay for clicks from all those people, you burn your budget before lunch. You're filling the stadium, but half the people there hate sports and the other half are broke.
So you're paying for quantity, not quality.
That's it. And the solution, according to Ashrafi, is audience segmentation.
Okay, let's unpack this term. Audience segmentation. It sounds a bit academic. What is it in plain English?
Think of it as filtering. It is the process of dividing your massive pool of potential users into meaningful groups based on shared traits.
Like behaviors or interests?
Yeah, behaviors, specific interests, or past actions they've taken. The goal isn't to get the most people to see the ad. It's to get the ideal customer to see the ad.
So instead of shouting shoes to the whole stadium, you're walking up to the specific group of people who are wearing worn-out sneakers and whispering, I think you need a new pair.
That is a perfect analogy. You are ignoring the people wearing heels, the people who are barefoot, all of them. You focus your money where the intent is.
And the source material breaks down exactly how to do this. It's not just a philosophy, it's a toolbox.
It is.
So let's open that toolbox. The article lists 3 specific methods. The first one they call a goldmine, which sounds promising. That's customer match lists.
This is often the most underutilized asset a business has. Customer match lists leverage your own CRM data. Every business has a list. Past customers, email subscribers.
People who have filled out a contact form.
Exactly.
So you take that list, let's say it's an Excel sheet of emails, and you feed it into Google.
Yes, essentially. You upload that data in a privacy-safe way. It gets hashed so Google doesn't actually see the personal info. And Google matches those emails or phone numbers to their user accounts.
Okay, so now Google knows which users are on my list. What do I do with that?
Now, you can target people who have already interacted with you. Or, equally important, you can exclude them.
Oh, that's interesting. Why would I want to exclude them?
Well, if you're running a campaign for new customer 20% off, you don't want your loyal existing customers clicking that and getting annoyed.
Waste money and it's a bad experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But usually you use it for targeting. Think about the psychology. Selling to a stranger is hard. Selling to someone who already bought from you and liked it, much easier.
Right. If I trust the brand, I'm more likely to click.
This is incredibly powerful for targeting repeat buyers or upselling. If you sell high-end coffee machines, you can use this list to show ads for your subscription coffee beans only to people who bought a machine in the last 6 months.
That is smart. It's so efficient. You aren't wasting money showing coffee bean abs to tea drinkers.
And the ROAS, the return on ad spend on these campaigns, is usually through the roof because the trust is already there.
You're preaching to the choir.
You really are.
Okay, so that's the people we know. But what about people we don't know? The strangers. That's where the second tool comes in. Connecting Google Analytics to track behavioral data.
Correct. This is about watching body language. When someone comes to your website, what do they actually do?
Most people just look at hits or visits. I got 500 hits today.
Which is a vanity metric. It feels good, but it doesn't pay the bills. Ad Expert emphasizes going deeper. You can build segments based on specific engagement metrics. How long did they spend on the site? Did they watch a video? Which specific pages did they visit?
Can you give me an example of how this changes the targeting?
Sure. Let's say you sell luxury watches. You have 2 visitors. Visitor A lands on the home page, stays for 5 seconds, and leaves.
Okay.
Visitor B goes to the chronograph page, scrolls all the way to the bottom, reads the specs, adds it to the cart, but then leaves without paying.
Ugh. Visitor B is the one that got away. That hurts.
Exactly. Visitor B is a high-intent segment. We call them abandoners. From a marketing perspective, Visitor B is worth 10 times more than Visitor A. So you build a segment just for them.
And show them a very specific ad, maybe an ad that says, hey, you forgot something, or offers free shipping.
Precisely. You are treating the serious shopper differently than the window shopper. Ad Expert emphasizes this creates segments based on real engagement, not just guesses.
It's data-driven empathy.
I like that.
So we have the people we know and the people who visited us. What about people who have never heard of us but should?
That brings us to the third tool, custom audience segments. This is where you get into interest and intent-based segmentation.
Intent-based. That sounds a bit like mind reading. How does Google know my intent?
It's close to mind reading. Google knows what you search for, what videos you watch on YouTube, what apps you use. This allows advertisers to target users based on what they're actively researching.
So if I'm researching best hiking boots for winter and reading reviews, even if I haven't been to your hiking store's site, you can identify me as a hiker segment.
Yes, we call that in-market intent. You are in the market for boots. But you can go even deeper. You can target people who are browsing competitor websites.
Wait, really? I can target people who are looking at my competitor. That feels aggressive.
It is aggressive, but it's fair game. You can create a segment of people who browse websites similar to a specific URL.
So if you are a small boutique hotel, you can target people who are browsing the big chain hotels in your area.
You got it. You are stepping in front of them right when they are making a decision. You're essentially raising your hand and saying, hey, before you book there, check us out.
That is incredible. And the article also mentions using social signals. Right?
Oh, yeah, the user intent often overlaps across channels. If someone is engaging with hiking content on Instagram, that insight helps build the profile. You're building a 360-degree view of who your person is.
Okay, so we've got our segments. We have the repeat buyers, the cart abandoners, and the in-market hikers. But here is where it gets really interesting for me, because having the list is only half the battle, right?
Right. If you just have the list and you serve them a bad ad, you lose. And this is the crucial link that Sam Ashrafi and the team at Ad Expert make very clear.
What's that?
Segmentation creates a new requirement. You have to match the ad copy.
You can't just copy-paste the same generic ad for all these groups.
If you do, you've wasted all the effort of segmenting. Think about it. You cannot show the same generic buy shoes here ad to the repeat buyer that you show to the stranger.
Why?
Because they have different needs. The repeat buyer knows you. They need a welcome back message. The stranger needs an introduction to the brand. They need to know why you were better.
And the cart abandoner needs that little nudge.
That little nudge, exactly. The ads must be written for that specific audience. This improves trust. If the ad speaks directly to my current need, upgrade your current hiking boots, I'm way more likely to click.
And this ties back to Ad Expert's services, doesn't it? They mentioned they don't just do the tech side, they do the writing.
They do. And this is where that ARC site comes in. They mention providing precise copywriting services that are data-driven. They focus on something called semantic keywords.
Semantic keywords. What does that mean? Is that just using the thesaurus?
Not quite. It means writing in a way that Google's algorithms understand the context and intent, not just the specific word. It's not just stuffing the word shoes in 5 times.
It's about signaling relevance.
Yes. And when the ad copy matches the user's intent and the content on the landing page, your quality score goes up.
And I remember from our previous discussions when quality score goes up.
Your costs go down. Google actually rewards you for being relevant. They charge you less per click because you are making their users happy.
So better writing literally saves you money. That is a takeaway right there.
It is. And that leads us to the results. The article lists some specific benefits. Obviously, we want to save money, but what else happens when you get this right?
Well, better clicks, I'd imagine.
Yeah, the headline metrics are improved click-through rate, CTR, and increased return on ad spend, ROAS. But there is a softer metric mentioned that I think is vital. The ads feel more personal and less intrusive.
I like that. Nobody likes to feel spammed.
No. We've all had that experience where an ad follows us around and it's annoying, feels creepy.
But if an ad is actually useful, if it shows me the exact lens I need for my camera, I don't mind it.
That is the difference between an annoyance and a service. When the targeting is right, the ad feels like a solution appearing at the right time.
So we know the what and the why. I want to touch on the how regarding Ad Expert's specific methodology. Because anyone can try this, but Ad Expert claims to drive exceptional results using a specific process.
It seems their process relies heavily on data combination. They don't just look at one thing. They combine a client's past data with competitor analysis to build the strategy.
Competitor analysis is huge. Knowing what the other guy is doing.
Absolutely. If they are offering free shipping, you better know about it.
Yeah.
And then once the ads are live, they mention contact test A/B.
A/B testing. That's the classic try two things and see what wins, right?
Ideally, yes.
Mm.
But they frame it as conducting ongoing research. It's about not assuming you are right. You might think headline A is brilliant, but the data might show that the ugly headline B gets twice the clicks.
You have to let the data make the decision. It requires checking your ego at the door.
Completely. And then they tell the client what's happening. They mention awesome reporting.
Awesome reporting. I like that confidence.
It brings us back to that live tracking we started with. They promise open communication. They don't just set the campaign and forget it.
It really is. I think a lot of business owners feel like, so what does this all mean for you, the listener? If you're running your own ads or you're hiring an agency, what should you be asking yourself?
I think the takeaway is to look at your current strategy and ask one simple question. Am I treating everyone the same?
That's a powerful question.
If the answer is yes, you are leaving money on the table, you are paying to talk to people who aren't listening, and you aren't speaking clearly enough to the ones who are.
That brings us to the final thought. The article ends with a concept that I think is worth chewing on. It asks if you are just chasing clicks or building sustainable growth.
That is the million-dollar question. Chasing clicks is an ego metric. It looks good on a report to say we got 1,000 clicks.
But if those clicks don't convert, it's vanity, it's noise.
And expensive noise at that.
Yeah.
Sustainable growth comes when campaigns become predictable. When you know that if you spend X on this specific segment, you get Y in return. That is how you scale a business.
Predictable and scalable. That's the dream.
True profitability doesn't come from just bigger budgets. It comes from smarter targeting.
Smarter targeting, not louder shouting. I love it. It sounds like Ad Expert has really codified this approach for the modern era. Thank you for breaking this down with us today.
My pleasure. It's always fun to look under the hood.
And to our listeners, thanks for diving deep with us on this analysis of Ad Expert's strategy. Check your segments, rewrite your copy, and stop shouting at a stadium. We'll catch you on the next Deep Dive.